From the bayous in Louisiana to the timber country up north, you'll find them out on the trap line, chasing furs to put up on the board. Mixing up another batch of that magical stuff, chilling around the fire after the show. Hey, it's Sarah and Jeff, and maybe a guest on the Trapping Radio 2.0.
Welcome to Trapping Radio. This is Jeff Dunlap, your host for this time, and got a real good friend of mine for many years with us. We're at the Tennessee Trappers Association, I think it is. Is this Tennessee Trappers?
It is.
We got Norm Blackwell with me, and I had seen him on the schedule. Him and Jen were going to be here, and then they weren't here when I got here, which was late to set up. And first thing I asked Carl from Razorback Snare, I said, "You see Norm yet?" And he says, "Nope, not yet." And then here they come, like the big parade coming into town. So it really made my convention to see you. So
I appreciate that. It's good to see you and Sarah again. We don't get to hang out enough.
No, so I was just trying to I hit the record button. I was trying to convince him to come to Michigan trapping or down to Iowa, so we be like the old days.
We need to do that before it's too late.
I was getting closer to being too late.
I know it. Yeah. I was at one of these shows and someone looked at me and goes, "I thought you were dead."
I thought you were dead.
I'm
Say,
like, no.
Just my spirit.
Exactly. No, not dead yet. Sorry.
Yeah. That was the first thing I thought when, even some of you won't believe it, but Clint Locklear even showed up at this convention for about 20 minutes.
He did.
You know, he kind of swirled in and ran out. But me and Clint and Norm took a picture together. And the first thing I thought was, damn, we're the old guys now.
We are. We really are. Yeah, I was going to say Clint don't look bad for an old guy like he is, but, But yeah, we're the old parts now that we used to go and look at and talk about and and now we're that. That's sad.
I know. Yeah, it's like Russ. Everybody's like probably thinking, Russ Carmen, Johnny Thorpe. They'll all be like, "I'm not that old." What do you mean?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
But no, it's definitely weird.
Yeah, and it almost happens overnight too.
It does.
Somebody, a trapper very well, more than anybody else knows. I was able to talk to him periodically on the phone when he was up in Alaska there, where I'm going with this, and stuff. And he wanted me to come out and trap with him. And one of my biggest regrets is not taking the time to go up there.
Yep.
And, he told me, he's like, I can't get out and do what I used to, but I'll drive you and I'll show you and point you in the right direction. And, one time there was something said that when you get where you're really, really good at what you do and really know what you're doing, then your body gives out and you can't do it no more.
Yep.
And that was something that didn't make any sense at the time because I was still young.
Yep.
Today, I understand completely.
Yeah. He would have loved to have you come up there too.
Yeah. It was nice. We're talking about Jeff's father.
Yeah. There'd have been you and my dad and Jen all sleeping in a little cabin.
Sleeping in that little cabin. That's right.
My dad would be yelling at her, "Quit snoring."
Yep. Oh God, yes. Yep. So.
Well, anyways, I got to run down through these questions that Sarah wrote up for you.
Okay.
They, how long, and I don't even, I got an idea on this, but how long, when have you been in the trapping industry? Because, you got into it and then, then kind of backed off of it and, more into the nuisance control part of it rather than, what some people don't know is you still deal with, different wholesalers on selling your oils and, and like gator oil, beaver tail oil, crawfish oil. Any of that type of oil Norm makes and sells wholesale. So there's a good chance if it smells good, it came from Norm. If it smells like perfume, it didn't come from Norm.
Pretty much, yes.
Because what people don't know is a lot of that, like the crawfish oil and stuff they get, if it has that like Old Spice smell to it, is that's not natural. That's synthetic.
Exactly right. Yeah, all of our stuff, we put no synthetics. It's all 100% natural.
But like, are you still taking on wholesalers? Like, if a wholesaler wanted,
We are. Yep, we sure are.
So if somebody out there has those trap supply business, they want to handle it, they get hold of you.
Sure can. Absolutely.
Okay. And it's under N&J
N&J Trapping.
N&J Trapping on Facebook.
That's right.
So
Yep.
so if you want to get a hold of Norm, you get a hold of him through there. But how long?
Basically, I started back like when I was 12. And trapped through. So you're looking in the 80s, of trapping, trapped,
And that was,
being a
that
kid.
was up in All Gray.
That was in All Gray, Michigan. Yeah, we wasn't that far apart. Didn't know each other.
No.
And then into my 20s and stuff like that. You get into the early 90s where they kind of had the fur boom. At the time, Ralph, I slaughter his last name, to Jesse.
Yep.
That was the guy that we sold fur to.
J&K Fur Exchange.
Yeah, J&K. And, I bought lure from him because that was the only place I knew to get it. Hallbakers back then that was it. In the mid 90s, I seen my first Trapper and Predator magazine, and I thought I found gold. There's a whole nother world out there. But through the winter months, that's how we paid our bills. That's how we lived, and stuff off the fur. $35, $40 for a raccoon, and not even have to skin it. Just drop it off. And, mink and all that kind of stuff. It was a great time that's gone and passed. I'm afraid we'll probably never see those days again.
Yep.
And then after that, we kind of got more into the nuisance wildlife because we still had people that had problems, and they would call and know that you trap stuff. So I went ahead and got my nuisance permit through the state of Michigan, and did that for quite a few years. And moved to Georgia, of all places, and just got certified there and of the wildlife, and just been doing it ever since, and do a lot more damage control, a lot of beaver work, squirrels, raccoons in the houses and stuff like that. And still did some damage work as far as, the beaver go, and coyotes and stuff on some smaller farms and things. So, but that's kind of the basic highlight, I guess, of everything, how things started coming around.
Like when you started selling the oils, you started selling the oils and, stuff in the baits and lures and all that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into doing that?
Well, we always kind of had some bait and lure that we made ourselves, but it was more for what we used. And a few trappers would, get it from us from time, just from knowing. We never really advertised it, never really went to shows. Actually, and when I got together with Clint, we started trapping Texas and different places like that together. I started going to shows with him, learning all about the show industry, and that's when we really started in with the oils and a lot more bait and lure. And we followed that circuit, for a few years, and that's how me and you met. That's, at a trapping show. And there you go.
My fake too.
So, but yeah, that's basically it. That's how we got started with it. And then, some of the bigger companies started picking up our oil. They really liked it. And so we started supplying them, and we've been doing it ever since. So we have never slowed down on supplying our dealers and stuff. Now, we don't go to shows like we used to, and things like that. Work has just kind of dominated to where, our wildlife business has really taken off, and that kind of took our whole summer and stuff. So we didn't have the time to run to shows and do as much as we did at one time. We really miss that. Getting out and talking to everybody and seeing everybody at the shows, and we'd like to kind of get back to doing maybe a couple, 2 or 3 shows a year, just so we can kind of meet some people again and let them know we're still here.
Yeah, it would be hard. I know Carl runs into that with doing their animal damage control business. Is you get jobs set up, and then you'd have to shut all the jobs down to go to a convention.
Yeah.
Or you're waiting for somebody to call you on an emergency job to make some money, and then you say, "Well, I can't because I'm at a show where I'm probably not going to make anything."
Exactly. Yeah.
And the power company doesn't give a shit that you went to the show.
They don't. And you can't pay them in crayfish oil.
No, they're heartless bastards.
They really are. And yeah, you're exactly right. Because every time we'd go to a show, we'd get 3 or 4 phone calls on jobs. And say, well, it's going to be Monday or Wednesday before we can get to you because we're out of town and, we're 3 days away. You would end up losing that job. They would find somebody that was closer and more available. So it was really starting to take a toll on the steady income and stuff. And you never want that reputation of being the guy that, hey, he might be there, he might not, or, he might leave in the middle of your job or, something like that. So it was just, at the time, it was just suited us better to back away from the shows and stuff. Try to keep our dealers as happy as we can and stuff. And chase after all the critters that are in somebody's house.
Like when you said you moved down to Georgia, like we had just come from Tommy Bryant's, and I'd only done the live market one time. It was like on 4 coyotes on one trip, one time. So I really haven't been exposed to it a lot. I've had offers, didn't really want to do it because I didn't really understand how it all worked. But, we did a month of it down there at Tommy's and really liked the whole system on doing the live market. So we're probably going to look into something like that. But when you went to Georgia, because they do have a live market there.
They do.
Did you peddle around in that? Or
I did. Actually, that Trapper and Predator magazine that I was telling you about, I found an advertisement in the back of it that they were looking for coyotes. And they were paying $100 for a coyote, $75 for reds, and $35 for every gray. And, my wife was tired of hibernating through the winter, and a job opportunity down there came up for her and me as well. So we decided to move, and then I started trapping coyotes and doing the live market. What a learning curve. I mean, you don't take the basic steel trap and just go catch, because then you destroy their feet and you can't sell them. Coyote has no will to live. So I mean, if he gets a little cut, next thing you know, it's infected and half his shoulders gone. So you got to doctor him. You got to take care of him. You got to give him penicillin. You got to blue spray the wounds if anything's there. Use the proper trap so that you can not do any damage. We used a 16-foot trailer, open trailer, and I took 4x4 hog wire and made a pen on it with a top, and then made a shelter inside where they could get in out of any weather and stuff like that. And I kept it under a building so that they couldn't get anything anyway. But they did like the coop. They liked getting back in there. If you ever do that, make sure you can take and open the coop up to clean it out. And there's a lot of work. You're feeding them dog food. You're spraying out all the feces every day, because you have to keep it as clean as possible so that they stay healthy. We fed them some carcasses and stuff that we were catching. They won't eat a raccoon. I could never. They would eat just about anything else I threw in there. With raccoon, they wouldn't touch.
Which is weird because, like Jerry Stevens, that was down there in Texas. He's passed away now, but he had a cat in a cage, and I used to get some urine from him, and he would throw coon carcasses in there, and that cat would go freaking ballistic over a coon carcass.
Well, I've never had cats, so maybe the difference.
And maybe his cat was as crazy as he was.
That could be too. Yeah,
that might have been the only cat.
Yeah.
But that was the only cat I've ever seen anybody try to feed him. But I know, like with them coyotes, it's weird that you put them in that pen and they won't eat. Like the gray fox will start eating pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
The reds are about halfway between the coyotes and the grays, but them coyotes will sit there for 2-3 days and
Won't touch a thing.
And then when you put something in the cage, they won't even come near it. And then when you walk away, you can hear the bones crunching. They won't eat while you're sitting there looking at them.
No, you can't watch them and let them eat.
That's really weird.
We were trapping a lot of property in South Georgia, and I had a John Deere Gator, and I had a pen set up on the back of it. Well, I had 3 coyotes in there at the time, and it was a divided pen. Then I come across a gray fox. I'm like, oh, God, what am I going to do with this gray fox, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not too far from the truck. I'm just going to shove him in the cage with the coyote. What could go wrong? Before I could get back in the Gator to leave, that gray fox wore that coyote out. He was up and down, up one side of him and down the other. That poor coyote was just like, shoot me. It was terrible. I had to just go back and get him back out of there because I felt sorry for him.
That's what I asked Tommy. I said, I didn't ask about the coyotes, but I said, do you ever put them reds and grays together? And he said for short trips he'll put them in there because they're still, not feeling dominant in that space. But he said if you, put them together permanently, he says they're fighting all the damn time.
Yeah. I'd have never thought a little tiny gray fox, 15-pound fox, gonna take on a 30-pound coyote and win. So it was a big learning curve. And then once we got going with it, it was good. We've had some really good buyers. That's the key thing. You got to have good people that you sell to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these pens that
you can't. It'd be rough doing it and selling it to like a slumlord pen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They ain't got no money.
No, they try to beat you down. And,
you pull in there and. The feet are fine, but they try and find one little thing wrong to pay you, $25 instead of $50. And
yep, absolutely. And then you got these guys that. What happened here basically? People, I don't know if they were out of work or they just didn't care what they were doing, just catching them for the heck of it. They started just dropping the prices. These pens would go, I'll give you, $50, and so everybody would take it. Mm-hmm. Well, then they got down to $30, and it's like, no, I sell mine for $100, and I just wouldn't back up on it.
Yeah,
there's too much work involved, and too much time and money, and stuff. So it kind of really ruined the entire market in Georgia. Now, this has been several years ago. It may have changed by now. I haven't heard anything that says that it has. But it is possible. They're the good pens that we had. They're like us, they were the old guys, and they didn't try to cut corners or cheat you out of your money. They knew what it was worth to them. They paid you that money.
Yeah.
But when they got to the point where they couldn't do it, the new guys that were coming in and taking their place, it was all about the dollar bill and not the trapper and the effort that they were putting forth. And when the pen calls you up and say, hey, I need 20 dogs by the weekend, can you do it? And you do that, they appreciate that. The new guys not so much.
That's the thing is with Tommy down there, I mean, he's got a really good relationship with a couple of really good pens. And and so he does. I mean, he's basically can sell every one he gets, and they pay him the money, and it's a real good relationship that he has. But a lot of the trappers down there, I'm sure, don't have that relationship. Yeah. And so you're forced to deal with the lower end of the buyers.
Oh, absolutely. The dog jockeys in the world, it's ruthless.
But I know that they were having some meeting down there in North Carolina, and the dog pen owners or the pen guys were going to have a meeting and try and have it where they were going to try and say, we're not going to pay over this amount to trappers for this, for this, for on a coyote, we're only going to pay, say, $50. Nobody pays $100. And the thing is that can work both ways.
It really can.
Number one, price fixing is illegal.
Right.
And number two, the trappers could get most of them together and do the same thing and say, you know what, we know we're not going to sell the coyotes for 50. We're not going to sell them for 100. It's going to be 125 because you have to have them.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's what I'd love to see the trappers actually stand together on something like that. And, go through the bad times together and just don't worry about it.
Yep.
As long as you can pay your light bill, don't worry about something like that. Stand your ground. And I hope they pull together and do that.
Because they did down in Mississippi. They had that co-op that Chip was involved in, where they kind of controlled everything down there. If you're going to sell a coyote down there, basically the co-op, kind of controlled it.
Yeah, and that's not profitable for the trapper. He may think that, it's better than killing it and skinning it and doing all this. Okay, but so you don't want to take $20 for that coyote if you have to skin it, but you're willing to take $30 over here when it's actually worth this. So you're trading one for the other, and it's just not. It still doesn't work out because gas is expensive.
Yep.
Vehicle's expensive, wear and tear.
Yeah, I mean, we were going. Tommy was paying for the gas, but we buy the meals and he was paying for the gas. But I mean, he was still running probably $60 worth of gas.
Sure.
On the line because we were getting like 8 miles per gallon because you're stop and go going across farm fields with a great big 2500 diesel.
Yeah.
And then his side by side blew up. So now he's got to fix that or buy another one. So
yeah, there's $20,000.
Yep.
For just a basic one.
That ain't a nice one with air conditioning.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So yeah, the cost of living's went up everywhere, and the guys need to really stand together. And I wish they would have done that in Georgia, but unfortunately, it didn't happen.
And then, was that when you first moved to Georgia that you were doing that?
It was. Yeah. It was probably early 2000 range. I don't remember exactly because, I can't remember what I had for lunch. Not along back that far, but it was early 2000 range. We were doing that. At the same time, I was trapping snapping turtles for the live market as well. We hauled those down to Lake Okeechobee to a turtle farm and stuff down there. Turtles are a real pain in the butt to haul. You put them in bags, they tear out of bags. You're going down 75, 80 miles an hour, pulling a trailer, and there's turtle heads sticking out of the cages looking at everybody going by. And, occasionally you see one slide out through a hole.
That's a 55-mile-an-hour turtle.
Exactly. That was quite challenging from time to time, but the state actually shut that one down. They made so many rules and regulations on the turtle farm that we couldn't take them down there anymore. And
state, they were always ruined.
I had $1 million business a year and just shut him down. And they would harvest the eggs, and actually most of them would be shipped off to like China and places like that. And I don't know if it was for consumption or to raise them out and to stock other ponds in other places. And,
I know them guys down in North Carolina. North Carolina and Virginia, I think, are two of the last ones that do commercial turtling.
Yeah, it's tough. Louisiana's about another state that really doesn't mind if you make a living off the land.
No.
But around this general area and Georgia, they don't want you to make a living off the land. They don't even want you to use the state land.
No.
I mean, they put gates on everything, and they keep it closed down.
It belongs to the people, just not you people.
Exactly. Yeah, they lost track of, we're supposed to let them take care of it, not dominate it.
So you've been doing this for, basically your whole life.
Yeah, basically,
When you first started off being where you were from, I mean, you probably was trapping
muskrats.
Like muskrats.
Yeah, that was my main go-to. I love water trapping and still do today.
Most of the people that start trapping, Michigan, I know, is generally goes back to a muskrat story.
Yeah, it usually starts there. And when you get that occasional mink or something that would go through there, oh my God, it was just like that was like a big wow moment. And
because you grew up, I mean, a lot of people know who Gary Schumann is.
Yeah,
and that was where way before Gary Schumann, but that same area.
Area.
That's where you grew up.
Yeah. I never trapped like Saginaw Bay. I've always wanted to. There were so many trappers out there, and you know, and I'm sure it's true, probably true today. You would know better than me, but trappers kind of dominated an area. This is my area. Stay out, and if you don't, there's consequences.
Yeah.
And so that was something that was really dominant in that whole area that I was in. So I stuck to the back farm ditches and things of that nature. You know, trapped a few coon, of course, but you know, my main thing was, definitely muskrats. And I still have that same passion for them.
Yeah.
I keep threatening every year to come trap muskrats with you. Either you don't trap muskrats or I just can't come.
Last year was going to be the first year that I might have been another year, but it was the only year I could remember where I hadn't trapped a muskrat, and I finally, in the spring, I went and caught one. Just so I didn't go a year without trapping one. Because we were down in Texas and doing running, and there was just no muskrat. I wasn't muskrat trapping last year, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But, you start whoring yourself out down to Texas, and that's what happens.
That is, yep. And you find that, you just don't have time for anything else.
No. Well, we went fisher trapping out to New York, right from there, and started, drove right from there and went right to Iowa and started trapping coon on the opening day, and then it was just all out from there. And they got a few rats down there to Iowa. I mean, you probably catch 200-300 if you really tried, but they're kind of a shitty rat. So basically, if you're going to grind them up for bait, you just leave the hide right on them. That's about how they are. I know them guys down there. We got a really nice rat. No, you really don't.
Well, and you guys are lucky. You have nothing that really ties you down.
No.
Maybe if there's some kids in your future, that may slow you down a little bit, where you can't travel.
There's not.
Well, never say never, I mean, I know you're getting up there in
happen.
age, but, anything can happen.
I'd have a kid and be, 75 years old.
Well,
and if my
that
kid,
might come in handy.
My dad was, probably like 40 when I thought I could take him, and he had to beat the hell out of me. At 75, I'd get my ass whipped, be laying over there in a snowbank. nobody's coming to help.
You have to carry a cattle prod with you.
Carry some Mad Dog 2020 as antifreeze in my pocket, so I can just lay there.
That's But that really does mean a lot too. When you don't have nothing to tie you down, you guys are really, really fortunate for that. You don't even have a pet.
We got a dog, but it's so mean with people that we can't really take it to the shows anymore. So it stays with her mom out to Iowa.
Oh, okay.
We always tell her that's the grand puppy.
Grand puppy.
Yeah, and but. Yeah, she's fine as long as nobody tries to pet her. But then she shows them every tooth in her head, and then people still think, oh, I think I'm going to pet that dog. I've never ever had a dog show me every tooth in its head, and I think, hey, is your dog friendly? No, she ain't friendly. That's like you go and ask permission at farms, and they say, oh, don't worry about that dog, it don't bite. And I'm like, what's the heck it got to have teeth for? He's got them teeth. He bites.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't bite you.
It doesn't bite you.
But we've all been there.
Yeah.
You get chased across the field by a dog.
Yeah, I get bit by a dog, and I'm a screamer.
That's it. Absolutely.
So is that when you, like in Georgia, when you were doing the live market? Were you doing that at the same time as the nuisance control, or was that?
I was.
So it wasn't that petered out, and then you started the nuisance control.
No, we stayed right with it. So most of our live trapping we did was through the fall and spring. So still the summertime, we were real adamant on just doing the nuisance wildlife stuff. A lot of the squirrels and the bats and the snakes and things that would get in houses. So we would do that. And then we also did all the seal up work too. So not only could we come and get your squirrels out of your house, but we'll patch that hole. We'll go around and seal everything up so nothing else can get in. So,
I mean, is that what you're doing now? The same thing?
I am. I'm still doing that. We've added a couple other services to our unfortunately, due to old age, I try to stay off ladders as much as I can on these 4-story houses that seem to be the only thing that anybody builds anymore.
Yeah, when you get old enough to realize that you never did bounce,
yeah,
it's time to quit.
Exactly. I couldn't imagine nowadays hitting the ground off a 40-foot ladder.
No, hell no.
Yeah, just throw some dirt and be done. But so yeah, I've had to slow down. Finding help is almost impossible. I had one good helper, stayed with me for many years. Good young man.
Well, down in your area, you don't pay enough tortillas.
Ain't that the truth anymore? God. You would hire, somebody 20, 25 years old, and at the end of the day, if they even made it that far, they're like, I ain't coming back tomorrow. You work too hard. 55, 56 years old, and you're telling me that I'm working too hard. And that kind of seemed like the normal.
Yeah.
So I just kind of quit. I'm like, okay, I'll just do what I can do myself, and just do that. So, yeah, that's what we do. We try to stay off ladders, do more groundwork. We still seal up houses, and we still do the same thing. But if my 28-foot ladder can't reach it, I'm not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, so, yeah, that's kind of the way we roll now.
Yeah, I never really got into that. I looked at it a few different times, and I'm like, yeah, not my thing.
Well, you have to be able to deal with people.
Yeah, there's the first problem.
Yes. Yeah. You have to be sociable and be able to deal with customers and make them feel at ease.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not easy to do.
No, and like going in there to deal with a snake or a bat or something, I'd be like as freaked out as they were.
Yeah.
I'd need them to comfort me.
We did a bat
last
week.
Therapy.
It's one of our Hispanic residents there called me up and said he had a bat in his living room, and I'm like, okay. He says, can you come get it? And I'm like, yep, $250. He's like, $250? And I'm like, listen, dude, it's not in my house. It's in your house. So if you can't do that, then, that's what it costs. He's like, okay, come get it. So I go over, and he hands me cash as soon as I get to the door. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I walk over, grab the bat with gloves, grab the bat and walk. He's like, that's it? He said, I could have done that myself. I said, yep, but you'd have got bit.
And it costs more than $250.
Exactly. So a lot of times you're paying for the experience, and the knowledge to know how to do something like that.
It's like going to a prostitute.
Exactly. You're paying for that experience,
Yeah.
It's not like, God, leave it to you. Sarah's going to cut that part out, you know that.
She'll never know until somebody starts telling her. Hey, it's only funny because it's true.
That's oh, goodness. Yeah, nothing's changed with you.
No, it never does. It never does. Unless Sarah's around, then it's like a lot more clean and proper.
Yes. Yeah.
But they, so I'm just trying to read her notes here. I think we covered most of that.
I think so. It looks like we've covered most of everything that she had down for us. But
yep, she should have added more stuff on her.
I guess so.
No,
Maybe she thought we'd ad lib.
I don't go off a script. Nothing good's gonna happen on that.
No.
So you thought about going back down to, like, you went down to Texas for years and years and years and years. You ever thought about going back down there, or is it?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I have thought about it several times. I enjoyed it. The game was plentiful. The weather's great because, the roads there sucks here when it's wintertime. So that's really nice. I did enjoy it. Had a good time. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Well, I think that one ranch that we trapped, that might be a good time to call them, because I just heard that Mark June was raising his price to $500 per day to go in there and do the predator control, so it might be good to call in.
Maybe a good time. Yeah. Yeah, 500 a day. Mark's going to love you for that comment.
So if you know of any Mark spots that you've been trying to get into.
Yeah, he just got
Oh, well. Good thing he's a pastor. He'll have to take it.
He will have to forgive you.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the benefit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
Yeah. So are you done for the year now? This is it?
This is the last convention. Yep.
So what's in the future for Jeff?
We're going to Iowa for a family event out there, and then back to Michigan. Probably start trapping some coyotes.
Okay.
Then back to Iowa to trap raccoons. We got, I don't know, 400 sold for sure.
Nice.
And
Can Sarah catch that many?
yeah, without me, but
You slow things down. I know.
do. I actually do, because I'm like dinking around looking at the trails, and she wants to set them. I'm like, we should write this down, because this is a pretty good, I think, a coyote trail. We could come back and snare it later. But
Yeah, she get a little frustrated with you at times.
sometimes,
Yeah. Well.
yeah, most time if you like ask the same question over and over again, and she gets frustrated with that. But hey, you know what? What you do is you ask the question this way. If you don't get the answer you want, you ask it a different way, and you just keep asking the question in a different manner until you get the answer that you wanted.
Exactly.
Well, that works with some people, but it don't work with her.
Well, that's tough.
Now, there goes Jeff Jeter.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to find a restroom.
Yep.
He missed.
Yeah, wish I had a BB gun. I'd shoot him right in the ass with it. No, he's just looking in the windows of the cabins.
Well, looking for guests.
Yeah.
That might need help.
Anybody in here need any help? This Tennessee convention it's a lot of fun because, there ain't a lot of people that go to it, but, at the Nationals, let's say you and Jen would have come to the Nationals. The thing is most time you're so busy at the booth, you don't have time to sit and talk.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how much time we had to sit and talk here and joke around?
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, these small conventions are great for that. And you're right. When you're at the Nationals, you're so busy. And then after, you're just trying to wind down from the day, and you don't really... You're not trying to be rude to anybody. You really just want to be left alone for and chill out.
Because sometimes I'll go sit in the truck with the air conditioning on and just sit there and play on my phone and just kind of clear my mind after the doors close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have to.
Because I don't drink anymore, so half the fun's gone right there.
Half of it's gone.
Tranquilizer.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's getting a little too rowdy.
Yeah, there's no sense in that. But yeah, that's good. So you're gonna go up there and you're gonna trap a few coyotes. Is there gonna be some muskrat trapping in your future?
Oh yeah, we'll trap some this year.
Through the ice, or
hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Hopefully just catch them in open water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go to Iowa, how many months or weeks are you trapping coyote or coon there? I'm sorry.
We'll trap. I don't know. We'll be on and off trapping for a couple of months there, but we don't pile them up like some of them guys. I mean, they pile them up because they're just setting so many traps out.
Mm-hmm.
But we do it more slow because I don't know. That's not enjoyable to me to just if I got 400 sold, I'd rather just kind of eke it out and do other stuff, maybe set some coyote snares or set a mink line, a couple mink traps out, and and the coon just get better as you wait,
Sure.
So
how many months can you go into until they start denning up?
Usually, like if it gets cold down there and they get snow, it'll warm up where they'll start moving, but their patterns are different. And I haven't completely down there figured them out because a lot of them trails, if they're going them trails into the cornfields, they go and there's coon going in and out of there, but it gets less and less as after that cornfield's cut, it'll be less and less and less and less.
Because the food
And
source is diminishing.
Yeah, and in Michigan, when it gets cold and warms back up, they're headed right to the water. There's nowhere else they're going right to the water. Mm-hmm. In Iowa, they might do the same thing. They just aren't going to the water where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
So, a lot of times, you just set them, the high water trails or high land trails, and we do pretty good with 220s then. Plus, you'll pick up some skunks and stuff, which we're going to switch more to 220s this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now
If somebody wants to get $50-$60 for a skunk tail, I want to give them as many as I can.
Absolutely, you should take advantage.
I put that on Facebook, and somebody said, you're going to crash the market. How in the hell am I going to crash the market?
Yeah, because everybody in the world is going to be stopping and skinning a coon's tail.
And the problem with it is everybody says you're going to crash. Everybody's going to crash the market, but most people are not accustomed to going out picking locations for skunks because most of them are caught by accident, not on purpose.
That's right.
So it's not like most of these people are like high-powered skunk killers.
No,
including myself.
Yeah, because who wants to catch a skunk normally?
Yeah.
So after you get done with your coon and stuff, you get into more of the winter. Are you just going to do basically just coyotes around here, or are you going to have to go to Texas at that time if you're going this year, or maybe someplace else? Or
yeah, we're going to Texas for sure. But if we're still on the ranch, we were trapping. If not, we'll have to look for something else. But yeah, I don't know. After we get done trapping coon, we'll probably trap coyotes somewhere.
Okay.
But I've been trying to get Sarah to go back to North Dakota muskrat trapping, but she wants to go there coyote trapping because that's her favorite thing to do is trap coyotes, and mine is to trap muskrats. So
total opposite.
Yeah, you don't really have to think. It's just like just do it.
Sure.
With the coyotes, I got to think more, and it's not always my best friend.
That's true. I've been around that. I've seen that firsthand. Yeah, and Sarah should understand that.
You'd think she'd want to keep that under wraps, but
no. Well, maybe she just needs to go, Jeff, do it right there. And do this.
Yeah. Well, she likes it because it's a thinking thing, and she does good with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to go do the only way I'd give up Texas would be if I was in an area where they had the live market, and you could get decent money and had a good population of the coyotes and the grays. I mean, like down there where Tommy's at in North Carolina, it isn't just him. It's in that whole area. Lots of guys capitalize on it, but
sure,
it's a unique area because they have a lot of grays, a lot of reds, and a lot of coyotes. So it's even like down in Louisiana where I was at, you had grays and you had coyotes, but you didn't have very many reds. You'd catch one once in a while. So
yeah. Well, South Georgia's kind of the same way. When we were down in there coyote trapping, we would catch a lot of gray fox. You remember some of the pictures I sent you of 6 or 8, 10 of them a day. It's like, wow, that's just unheard of.
Yeah.
And stuff, but no reds and stuff. Now we've got a few reds in northern part of Georgia, but it's still far and few between.
Yeah.
And we can't find a muskrat to save our life.
Yeah. You
guys
guys used to catch a few down there in the golf courses and stuff, I know.
Every once in a while in the golf course we can find a few. We've got one place that's 9,000 acre swamp, and some of the prettiest swamp you ever want to find. There ain't a muskrat in it. All kinds of beaver, but absolutely no muskrat. So if I remember right, at one time Georgia actually had a muskrat population. Did they not? Muskrat and mink as well.
My dad was down there and caught a lot of rats down there. That was like, I don't know, the late 60s or early 70s.
So it's his fault. He did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he said no. There was everywhere there was muskrat. He'd go, take a beaver trap and a muskrat trap down there and set it on the feeders. They had feeders or a muskrat toilet. He said he caught tons of rats down there.
That's a little bit off topic, but did your dad travel like you do now a lot?
No, he'd go like Alabama, or Georgia. He started in Georgia. I can't remember his name. The guy that started the NTA from the UP.
Mm-hmm.
He was hooked up with him, and he had kind of like a fur brigade, and I can't remember his damn name. People were saying it's this, but I can't remember his name. But he started the NTA, and he had started the fur brigade. He wore like Boy Scout type hat. And my dad said he drank muscadine wine,
Ah.
and he had a pet beaver. And the beaver chewed the leg off his desk in there. But that was in Georgia, and then he'd go there, and then he ended up going to Alabama, over to Butler, Alabama, and trapped the Tom Bigby River for a lot of years, and then he would come to Louisiana with me, and then but he went to Arizona with R.C. Smith, and there was a snare guy out of Indiana. I'm trying to remember I know his name. Real nice guy.
So that was through the late 60s?
He went in the 80s to Arizona.
Oh, okay.
But
That's sad. We were born in the 60s.
Yeah.
Late 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, 69.
Yeah, 67.
Summer of
so,
69.
yeah.
Yeah, Brian Adams sung that song about me, Summer of 69.
Summer of 69. All hell broke loose.
Yeah. 9 months before, somebody was getting freaky. Speaking of freaky, there's Jeff Jeter. Trapping radio interview.
Oh. Okay.
Jeff Jeter's out walking his dog. Not a dog that you'd think a trapper would have. It looks more girly.
That is very...
Especially the pink leash with the pink handle on it.
Pink handle, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look at that dog. I can't even believe that he would bring like a little bitty Pomeranian looking thing to a trapping convention.
He's secure in his man.
He should have a skirt on with them two dogs.
They're probably his wife's dogs. He's just babysitting them.
That's worse. He's a good guy, though.
He really is.
He's always been a good friend.
Yep. He always is a good guy.
For having two gay-looking dogs like that.
Yeah.
He should be a real man and take him to his girlfriend's mother to watch.
So, well, before this is all over, I'm sure everybody would love to know, is there going to be some future plans for Jeff and Sarah? Yeah, we're going to be seeing some wedding bells here soon, or?
No, absolutely not.
Come on now.
No, if something ain't broke, you don't fix it.
There's thousands of us that took that leap, and
you
don't hear none of us complaining about it.
I took it, but I'm a widower. I want to keep my widower status. Yeah, my ex died, so that made me a widower.
That made you?
She wasn't an ex. We were married still, but she died. And
yeah.
Nick Ernie was up trapping, laying on the couch, and I seen the cops pulling up to the door. We were beaver trapping or something, and they would come up to the door, and I answered the door, and they said, "Is Jeff Dunlap here?" And I said, "Yeah, that's me." I'm like,
what did I do?
First thing I was thinking, whose dog did we catch? That was the first thing I thought. I thought, did Nick catch? And they said, "Oh, we're here to inform you that your wife died." And I'm like, so we didn't catch anybody's dog? Well, Nick goes, the cop heard him. He goes, "Holy shit, I didn't even know you were married."
Yeah. Very few people really did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hadn't seen her like in 10 years. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, she was gone long before we really knew each other.
Yeah,
And
that's been a long, long time ago.
Yeah, God, do you think
Well,
back,
it was
it's gotta be-
well when. I mean, now I'm starting to sound like a Matt Jones story, but
No kidding. Yeah.
no, I'm not going to tell you that crabs can jump 8 feet, and that's how you can catch them.
Yeah.
No, when last time I talked to her was when me and you was going to Texas, and my daughter called and said, "Hey, Mary's out on a date." Remember that?
Yep.
And we
I
got in
sure
the
do.
motel, and you said you got to go home, and I'm like, "Nope, I'm going to Texas trapping."
We're going trapping. Okay.
That's what we did too, wasn't it?
It was exactly what we did. Never looked back.
Never looked back.
I don't even think we talked about it again.
No.
It was like, well, okay, whatever.
No. So.
So, have you talked to Matt Jones lately? Speaking of,
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to talk to him in a while. I was hoping he'd show up here.
Oh no.
I know his life's kind of
I
turned
don't think
upside
these
down
people
again.
can take the Matt Jones. I think it might be a little laid back. He was at the Nationals, and he was so funny.
Yeah.
I could just sit there all day long and listen to Matt.
I follow him on Facebook, and he gives them boys of his hell. He says he's done everything in the world to keep them from being fishermen, and here they are being fishermen, and stuff. And it's some of the things that they do, and he'll talk about, and it's quite comical. I enjoy listening to his stories. And
he's had a life where he doesn't he doesn't have to bow his head to anybody on the life he's led.
No, not at all.
And he's paid a hell of a lot of penalties for the mistakes he's made.
Yeah, if there was a way to screw something up, by God, Matt found it. And he was an overachiever.
He really was.
I
never look at it that way, but he really was an overachiever.
He really was ahead of his time there.
I really like Matt a lot.
I do too. He's a damn good trapper.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, and just
he's,
a good down to earth guy.
He's like a Johnny Thorpe, where a lot of people are go out catch a lot of coyotes, or this person might go catch a lot of fox. There's just some people that they can go catch anything, and that's how Matt is. He's just a trapper.
He's got the eye. He can look across the field and go, okay, coyote's going to be right there, and there's going to be one over there. And, so many people go, how in the hell do you know that? Yeah. And it's just, it's having that ability. It really helps you out a lot.
That's how my dad was. I don't have that. I've actually got to work hard for it. But,
Yeah.
But, no. But he was wound up at the Nationals. It was crazy as hell, because you had Matt Jones, Neil Olson, Mark Zager, Tommy Bryant. I can't remember. There was a bunch of people around. Anyways, just them four enough.
Yeah.
It was just like rapid fire ragging on each other.
He came here one year to a trapping convention. And,
here in Tennessee?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually doing a cat demo. And, this is like, I don't know, I was probably 4 or 5 years into doing all this stuff, and it was just second nature. I was like a little kid when he come up and started watching, because I knew this is like a master watching you and stuff. And he watched what I did. He never said a word, just kind of nodded at me and turned around and walked off. And I was, God, he made me nervous. And I've been in front of Nationals and never been nervous a bit. Matt Jones walked up, I was like, oh my God, I'm being judged by Matt.
Remember that Southeastern down there, and it was in Crossville, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but in a nutshell was, he got done, he said, that's all I got to, that's all you need to know. And he got up and walked out of his job.
Walked out, that's it. Because half of you ain't going to listen to me anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to try to argue and tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's helped a lot of people through the years, whether he meant to do it or not. He's helped a lot.
Oh yeah, some of his first videos. I commercial catfish down in South Georgia for a couple of years, and I learned from his video that he put out and stuff. And it's like, wow,
Well, I'll tell you, we'll close on this. The craziest thing there's been a lot of crazy shit I've seen at conventions, but the craziest of all was we're sitting by a fire, and there's Matt Jones giving Mark Zager marital advice.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, my God. This is like the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, he put a picture.
Anyways, we love you, Matt.
Yeah, we really do. We're not talking bad about you at all.
We wish you were here.
Yeah, absolutely. He put a picture up the other day of him and that shepherd dog that he has.
Oh, it had.
It was behind him. He goes, I sure miss this dog.
Yeah.
And it was funny because, all the time you'd hear him, damn that dog, damn this, and, that thing, this, and...
You never seen him do that with a woman's picture before, though.
No, I never have.
And Matt's like, and you never will.
Exactly. Yeah, him and that dog were closer than anything else. They run the banks and stuff together. But hell of a fisherman, hell of a trapper.
Well, I had since we've been talking about Matt, we'll give him a plug. Him and Brian Nelson have that school down there, and Sarah did an interview with Brian and said this is going to be the last year they have that school. So if you want to go down there and hang out with Matt and have some stories to tell of your own about Matt and Brian, and I don't know the story, but make sure you ask him about the carrot story, and I really don't know what the carrot story is.
I haven't heard
it
that
was
one.
so bad that Brian Nelson wouldn't tell me what it was.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, it'd be worth whatever they charge you to go down there and hear Matt Jones tell you about the carrot story. So, well, anyways, thanks for doing this, buddy. I really appreciate it.
It was great to spend time with you and Sarah.
So, in the end of this, the thing that we learned is that you're still alive.
Still alive. Still kicking. Sorry to let everyone know. Gonna still stay at it.
All right. So if you want to get any oils of any type from Norm, just go on N&J Trapping on Facebook, send him a message, and he'll get with you about it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Norm.
Thank you.